good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's me again, Jen. Hello. And it is June the 5th, and it is Friday. We have made it through a week of June. It's always interesting to me when the month starts on a Monday. It really feels like something new and exciting is starting. And we have a lot of new and exciting things happening in the world. And I hope everything is okay where you are and that you are staying safe and you are staying healthy and all of those things. And just know that powers that be are always watching over us. We are history in the making, my friends. We are history in the making every day. So without further ado, let's see what card we have for our history making day. All right. The Six of Swords. I'm always fascinated by swords because being an air sign, I should technically kind of be drawn to them. And yet, my card, which I've never really talked too much about, like how to pick your card in a tarot deck, but my card is actually from the Suit of Cups. So maybe at some point I'll do a video just specifically on how to choose like your card, your representer. All right, so we are using the Sakki-Sakki Tarot deck, which has given us some really fascinating cards so far. I'm really excited about every single one of them we've picked, including those that have these lovely headless characters on them. She mentioned, the artist mentioned that she made most of these characters headless so that we didn't get caught up in the physical attributes, the hair color, eye color, skin color of these characters. That said, she does kind of lean into a certain color spectrum for each of the suits. So that's interesting too. With the cards, she also uses these little symbols, which we've talked about are zodiac and astrological symbols from like our little cheat sheet card here. So if you're not up on that, it is kind of cool that it comes with the little cheat sheet card because I have tons of books on all this kind of stuff, but not everybody does in their library and not everybody wants to Google it. So in this corner, we've got Mercury, which is really cool because I think that it definitely speaks to the meaning of this card, which we'll go into shortly. And then in the other corner, we have these little wavy lines, which are the symbol for Aquarius. And Aquarius is not an air sign. Aquarius is an air sign. It is not a water sign. Even though its symbol is waves of water, it is not a water sign. And it is one of the more interesting zodiac signs because of that. It's also another name for it is the water bearer. So again, you would think this is a water sign, and it's not. So what's cool, I think, about this, and it's really funny that I started with the water sign thing. The swords is an air suit. The element that is attributed typically to the suit is the swords. I didn't say that right, but either way. But in this case, this card is very water heavy. More than 2/3 of this card is filled with water because this is a card of crossing over. This is a card of passing through to something else. I'm not sure if we've picked this card before, but we've picked other cards that kind of have water depicted in them. And usually when there's water involved, it's a crossing over of some kind. This one is in a big way. Many, many times when this card comes up in the deck, it will tell you that you are moving. You are going somewhere else. It may be over water. It may just be over that sort of invisible line that we create on things where, oh, I'm crossing to state line. I'm crossing to a different county, a different city. They're all kind of invisible lines that we have that, we rely on to understand our geography a little better and distance and things, but it is a crossing over between those kinds of situations. So you are an actual traveler moving somewhere else. The swords in this case are kind of riding in this little boat, and there's usually 3 characters in the boat. There's the kind of ferryman looking character who in this case is headless. And the two riders, and usually the two riders are a woman and a child. Sometimes they're a man and a woman. There's usually, but there's always two. There's usually, again, the woman and the child, but there's always two. And there's always the ferryman. The ferryman is taking them from one shore to the next. And this can be a crossing over from this world to the next. It can be a crossing over, as we just mentioned, of actual traveling. Either way, it is one of travel and success and change. What I really love about this card in her little symbols down here is she uses Mercury as one of the symbols. And I did look it up because I have a hard time remembering the symbol for Mercury. I think because it's a little more complex. It's got a lot going on. It's got the little circle, and it's got horns on it, and it's got a little tail on it that almost looks like the cross that is, on Venus and the female symbol and things like that. So it's just got a lot going on for Mercury. So Mercury is the messenger. He usually carries something over to us. And yet, he can also be kind of ferrying us somewhere else, a guide, so to speak. And Mercury is used between our world and the spiritual world and our world and the world of the dead. Mercury has this ability to kind of go wherever he pleases. And he's very fleet of foot in that way, which to me kind of puts him in that air sign category. It's also about communication and that getting the information you need across to other people. So while some things are about receiving information and you getting all the things that you need, this one is more about giving information and being open. So when you're in your conversations today or this weekend, or if you're traveling this weekend and you're really trying to figure out where you're going or how to get there, make sure the Wi-Fi is connected, make sure everything is good, make sure you check your maps, download them beforehand, kind of thing. Check with people, make sure they're going to be home, make sure shops are going to be open, double check reservations. Those are the kinds of things to kind of keep up on with respect to travel and this card. Keep in mind that the other thing about this card is they look somewhat sorrowful. Having such a good time with words today. So it can very well be the crossing over to the other side of things, as in crossing to the other life, or crossing to death, crossing to those kinds of things. So that's a little eerie sometimes when that card comes up and you're like, oh, what is this to do with? Check around for other symbols around the card in a spread. If it has to do with health, maybe let this person know, hey, really watch your health. Watch out for it. If it has to do with relationships, if there's a lot of like cups and things like that in there and it's about relationships, you may be saying goodbye to this relationship. It may not be something that's going to last much longer. Or on the flip side, if they've been waiting for that relationship to take it to the next level, in the positive way, it could mean that as well. But most of the time, this card is going to be about physical travel, physical movement, be it from our physical world to the spiritual one, or be it from where we are now physically to someplace else. So when there's water, there is movement. When there's water, there is travel. The other thing that this can be is very simply, it could be you're going on a vacation and you're traveling and you're going somewhere. There are positives and negatives to every single card, and it really depends on what is surrounding that card and how it is interpreted. So we are crossing over into a weekend, and I really hope all of you take care this weekend. Take care of your health, take care of your safety, and be good to one another and communicate, be like Mercury and see all sides and be able to communicate to all sides and listen to all sides. So while you're traveling in your boat, you are not the island and you are not lost at sea. You will get to that other shore and things will be well. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. As always, if you're interested in tarot readings, please check out my website in the description. And if you're interested in reading any of my books that are about either the metaphysical and technological stuff in Cloud to Cloud, or more creative things like is in Trolls, or you're just interested in checking out more stuff about tarot or any of the other things I do, please see the playlist that is added at the end of this video, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye!